Give it a second.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and yes, we hope that you are tuning in tonight because you know what time it is. It's Tuesday night, and that means it is time for the round table. And yes, I am so happy to be back. All four of us are together again. It's been a year since we've all been together. It's crazy. I don't know what happened. Time travel. What are you going to do? I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, it is that time. It is time for the round table. And of course, I'm Nick Rosario. I'm just a guy with a dream and a haircut, and I'm just trying to get through this thing called life. But here we are again. It's Tuesday. I got my crew with me. These guys are the best. Let's see how we're doing. It's been a while since we've all talked. It's been a while since we've all been together. So, Tina, how have you been? What's going on? What's happening? How you feeling?
Broncos lost. I'm okay, and I booked a trip to Spain for February for my birthday. So I'm good.
Oh, you're great. Nick, what did you do for your birthday? I went to the mall shopping and I went to a movie. Tina, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm going to Spain. Well, there you go. That trumps my birthday. Oh, well, I thought I was feeling good about myself. Oh, it's all good.
I had a fairly large voucher with British Airways that I was going to lose if I didn't book it in the next month and take it. So I was like, I'm going.
Fantastic. I hope you have a fantastic time. That sounds wonderful. I love it. Handy!
Sir, yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Handy? I swear I haven't seen everybody in forever, it feels like. But how are you, sir? How's it going?
It seems like forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm going to tell you.
It's something else.
I'm doing great. I am phenomenal. I am amazing, as it were. And I promise tonight I won't eat on camera, Tina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tina and I did Roundtable Light last week since you guys weren't available, and I had this sandwich sitting right over. What happened? My other screen just went dead.
No.
I had a sandwich over here, and Tina's talking, and I forgot to give Tina the full screen, and I'm just sitting here, and I just reached down and grabbed my sandwich and just start eating
while I'm talking.
That's fantastic.
And I hear Tina talking, and I went, I'm eating on camera. I'm eating. Oh crap! So it was. I totally had a brain cramp. So I promise I will not eat on camera this evening. And as always, I am very happy to be here, and I'm ecstatic that the band is back together. Yay.
Yeah, we're here.
NSYNC is going on a reunion tour without Justin.
It's gonna be May. No, but anyway. All right. Delilah, how are you doing, darling? It's Tuesday night. You're back. This is great. How you
I'm doing great. I'm glad I could join all y'all tonight. So this is a good thing for me to be on. It's been crazy. Back to school.
Yes. Your vacation's over, dear.
Yeah, I know. I could have used another week in Puerto Rico, and now Bad Bunny's everywhere, and I'm super upset.
Bad Bunny!
Because now I want to be over there.
Right.
Now more people are like, oh, Puerto Rico's a tropical, beautiful island. I'm like, yes. So now everybody knows with all the videos and music and him going on Jimmy Fallon and, going live, Toro, which is our version of Moonshine.
Moonshine, there you go.
So it's been fun, though. At least more people know what Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans are.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That is very good. Bad Bunny. Yes, Andy, you were going to say something, I believe?
Are you noticing a theme here? Tina's going to Spain. Delilah just got back from Puerto Rico. You went to the mall, and the last place I went, and Sunday, I'm going to see Joe Coy. Like, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be great.
A lot of fun.
Yes,
yeah, no, I was going to say, like, again, Nick seems like he's done the most uninteresting thing out of the three of you. You're at least going to see Joe. No, I'm just saying, right? No, it's okay. Like, I didn't want to do, like, a big thing for my birthday, so it was fine. But it's just like I said, Tina's going to Spain. Delilah spent 2 weeks in Puerto Rico. Handy's at least going to go see Joe Coy. And I had mall dinner and I shopped. So there you go. It's all good. Absolutely. No, it's fantastic.
On birthdays.
That's right. Absolutely. No, again. But yes, so thank you guys again for tuning in. I see people are watching. We always appreciate that. We always appreciate your comments. So as always, let's get this parade started, shall we? It always starts with a coin toss. All righty. Well, let's get it started in here. As you know, this is the coin toss. And, a lot of interesting things happen towards the end of the year in football. As we know, not only the playoffs happen, but of course, the NFL coaching carousel becomes a thing because people get fired, people get hired. It's fantastic, right? Well, here's what we know. There are 7 teams that initially had job openings, but the New England Patriots have gotten their man, and they have brought home a guy who played for them for some years and was a coach and all this good stuff. So Mike Vrabel has come back, and finally, Mike Vrabel has come back to New England. Mike, I'm not going to lie. I wanted you here, buddy. You're not going to be here. You're going to be in New England. Delilah, what do we think of this? Mike Vrabel going back to the Patriots as a head coach this time. Is this good for Drake May? Is this good?
I think that's who they wanted the whole time, to be honest. But he was still, on a different contract. And I do think that they threw their one-year coach under the bus, though, because
totally
he was given 1 year with a crap team. Drake Mayo is not your guy, guys. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's bad. They don't have players. They stink. The Patriots stink, y'all. You guys stink, and you gave a first-year, head coach a crapshoot of trying to make things work. But I understand someone has to go, someone has to get the blame, and usually it's the head coach. And so I'm not surprised. I'm sad that they didn't give them another year, but but I think this is who they wanted. I think they wanted Vrabel the whole time, but he was still tied to the Titans. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I feel this is who they wanted, because they literally talked to him for like a few hours. And they're like, "You got the head coaching job." That sounds to me like he was always on the short list.
Oh, I'm sure he was. And unlike the Bears who were doing Zoom meetings, they actually met in person with New England.
Exactly.
So this is how we do business, folks. Just say we did a lot of Zoom meetings. No, anyways. Tina, but for you, I'll ask Tina this. Mike Vrabel going back, kind of more of the defense. I mean, he had an offense in Tennessee, more of a defensive-minded coach, you would think. Does this help Drake May? Because as you said, the quarterback play of the offense was really bad this year. And, as a result, Gerard Mayo got the boot. Does Vrabel help in that regard? And I heard a rumor, I don't know if this is true, possibly bringing back, who as the offensive coordinator. What's our boy's name? McDaniel? To possibly, that's why I threw this to Tina, because I knew that was going to get a response from her. What would you think of that, Tina? What do you think about that in New England, huh?
God, like when I was talking on Mile High Minute about giving props to a Raider and feeling like my soul shrivel into like a ball of coal.
Right.
God, I'm going to have to say something nice about Josh McDaniels. Which is, he is a good offensive coordinator, and he was a quarterback's coach before it. So if you need someone to develop a rookie quarterback, probably the right guy to do it. The thing is you need more than just the quarterback.
That is correct. That is correct.
So they're going to have to see who they can get, because let's also remember, who was the one that picked most of the talent that they drafted? Belichick.
Bill Belichick, who is now at North Carolina. He was the one that
could find the diamonds in the rough.
He did.
He found the Edelmans. He found the Bradys. Yeah. He found these guys that he wanted to get. So it's only half the equation.
Yeah, true. But I mean, and that's the
They're
thing.
going to have to rebuild like every bad team.
Yes.
Broncos had to do it. Raiders are going to have to do it. Patriots are going to have to do it. All the bad teams have to rebuild.
Yes, they do.
That's the way it works.
And that's the thing, Handy. Like, because that's overall, Handy. I want to ask you this part of it because I think this is important. The offensive coordinator position obviously is something that they're really going to need because, again, Vrabel is more of the defensive coach. If you had, let's say Anthony Handy is the GM here, who would you like to see in this position to help Drake May in this offense outside of drafting, obviously, more pieces? Do you have an idea of who you'd like to see in this position that would help them out?
In the GM position, or
no, in the coordinator position, coaching position.
I would go to Springfield, Illinois, and I would look for a shoe salesman by the name of Al Bundy.
There it is.
When he played for Polk High School, and he threw 4 touchdowns in that one game.
Scored 4 touchdowns, right?
He scored 4 touchdowns in that one game.
He's
yes, absolutely amazing. He's a dynamic offensive powerhouse. I think one play he actually threw the ball to himself, 20 yards downfield, ran under it, caught it. So yeah. Let's see. Jokes aside, an offensive coordinator in New England. That's a very good question. To be completely honest, he's already the head coach in Washington, but Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, no, that would be great, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think there's Washington safe with him for now. that playoff run he's got going now probably precludes him from that one. But
he's going nowhere.
He go nowhere. Right, he shouldn't. Let's put it that way. But no, I get what you're saying. Like,
I mean,
the reason I see
that, and the reason that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The reason that I throw his name out there is, you look at the things that Atlanta was able to do in spurts. Right. It did have the brief little run where they went to the Super Bowl and got completely demolished by Tina's Broncos, and a certain young man from a small town in Georgia who didn't have no indoor plumbing was on the sidelines going, "Call the National Guard, Mr. President, send the National Guard. We're killing them. They'll be here in 10 minutes." But when Dan Quinn came into that system that had not Julio Jones, that had Roddy White and Matt Ryan, he turned those two into one of the best quarterback wide receiver combos in the league. And then they got Julio, and then they got Tony Gonzalez. And despite not having won the Super Bowl, Atlanta was one of the biggest offensive juggernauts in the league for damn near a decade. And it's amazing they just couldn't get over that Super Bowl hump. So definitely Dan Quinn.
No. I mean, again, it's such an important, it's become, because the league is now such an offensive league. We've seen it with the way the games are called, the way that they cater to the offense now. You can't even hit a quarterback or hit a runner in certain positions. Guys are trying their best to lead with their shoulder, but if their helmet hits, they get thrown. Flag gets thrown at them. It's really become an offensive league.
And that's what do you call it? The theory of physics: a body when in motion will stay in motion until acted upon by an outside force. And so, if you're moving, your neck is not stiff. It doesn't just stay put. So you hit the guy with your shoulder, but the physics, boom.
The helmet, your helmet hits. That's what happens.
And all of a sudden, it's targeting personal foul number 43 of the defense. 43
of Cosby, the defense. When did that happen? I don't know Cosby was on this show.
No, this is not Cosby. I don't know who that is. I just made that voice up, but it does sound a little bit like Dr. Cosby. That was not my intent. Oh, wow. It's just that's how the referee sound, standing there looking at it going, wow, he really didn't leave with the crown, but you already flagged him. What are we gonna do? Well, it's a fine. It's more money. It's more money for the league. More money for the league. Target number 43. He's that guy.
Oh man! For only 15 minutes in, we've already descended into madness. I love it.
Oh, but, no, not yet. Not yet. We have.
Yeah, it's early. I know. But also, again, let's get off the Patriots right now. There are 6 other teams. Yeah, let's get off the Patriots.
I agree.
We spent too long talking about them anyways.
We really did.
We really did. Sorry. But, there are coaching changes. There were 6 coaches that were fired. Obviously, in the beginning, we had Robert Saleh, who got fired by the Jets, right? Dennis Allen got fired by the Saints. The Bears finally got rid of Matt Eberflus, which made Delilah and I extremely happy and made my Christmas better. Jaguars got rid of Doug Peterson. The Raiders, Antonio Pierce. Was that fair? Who knows?
I don't think so.
Let's talk Mike McCarthy.
He also thrown under the bus.
Yeah, no, he did. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Antonio Pierce was like, "Oh, wait, really? I'm gone? Like, what happened? Like, you gave me no team, and my quarterback was hurt all year. Like, what happened?
Yeah, no.
What did I do wrong? What is going on here?"
That was BS too.
A Raider is always gonna Raider.
There you go. Truer words were never spoken by Tina, and again, Tina watches the Raiders twice a year in the AFC West, so she's got a little experience with that one. But I do want to talk Mike McCarthy getting let go by the Cowboys, because I thought this, again, we know Jerry is Jerry, and he does things.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that when the Bears asked for an interview, they declined it, only to fire him 2 days later. Like, what? This is what I'm talking about with Jerry Jones. Like, what is the point of what you're doing there, sir? But here's the question, and I'm just going to throw this out to all of you. So go ahead and where could you see Mike McCarthy ending up with the teams that need coaches right now? I'm just saying, as a guy who's inexperienced, right? Obviously, the Bears need a coach. Saints, Jets, Raiders, Jaguars. What do you guys think? Again, I know the obvious. A lot of people will say that, and as much as I know the Bears need something, I don't know that it's Mike McCarthy, but I get why people would say that. But what do you guys think in terms of where Mike McCarthy could end up next season or later this year coaching?
You want me to?
Waffle House.
Go ahead, anybody. You guys can jump in.
The reason I'm saying the Bears is because out of all the coaches, okay, he's coming in for an in-person interview.
He is. That is true.
Out of all the coaches,
you think he'll be able to get along with Ryan Poles, and he'll give Ryan Poles all the decision making he wants?
Oh no, actually not. But at the same time, the McCaskies are the ones that make those decisions, and we know that. So
that Poles interview exposed a lot of inside, how they're looking at this. And
so I'm nervous, but the fact that I would have expected a rollout for Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? Like if you roll out a carpet, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't. They just had Zoom meetings, Zoom interviews.
Yeah, Zoom meetings for everybody.
But
that should probably tell you the level of interest they really have in him, though.
That's what I'm trying to say. But as soon as all of a sudden the Cowboys fire McCarthy and they're actually gonna bring him in after talking to him for a few seconds, that's the only reason why I'm thinking that that's the direction our organization is going.
Yeah.
Only because of that. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that he'll get the job ultimately, like Tina was saying, they were exposed, but at the same time, they're kind of acting like it.
But they're also the ones that asked for permission.
Right.
To talk.
Yeah.
They did.
So
Jerry said no.
We wanted to see him, so let's bring him on in.
Right.
But as far as the Zoom interviews, like I alluded to with Poles' interview, you don't need more than a Zoom interview. Because all he wants to know is that you're going to do what he wants you to do.
Yeah. No, I got you.
And you don't need it. Did you guys see the breakdown that Dave Wanstead did of the Ryan Poles interview? If you
I didn't actually.
Watch it. I was cracking up watching it. Late night show. He was losing his mind on a lot of it. Like, that's not what you do. Like, it was total Coach Dave. He was sitting at the table. So I don't know. But as for where do I think he goes?
Right.
That's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I do wish you guys would at least bring Pete Carroll in for an interview. Because
like a person interview.
Does develop quarterbacks and offenses really well.
I would love him.
Yeah.
I would love him. I just kind of feel like Mike McCarthy seems like John Fox 2.0 to me. If you guys remember when John Fox was brought in here.
Yes,
and it's like, that just reeks to me so much of that. Like, we need something to, we're going to change the culture. We need a name. We need this. We need that. Oh, look, Mike McCarthy all of a sudden is available. I mean, again, I know we had asked to talk to him initially, but again, 2 days later, Jerry lets him go, and it's like, oh, now we can talk to him. He doesn't have a job anymore. Great. Why don't we interview the guy that just got fired? Well, no, I mean, that's the thing, though. You're just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this so reeks of John Fox to me that I'm just like, no, please don't do this to me again. Because, again, it's almost a similar scenario, right? We were rebuilding. We had a quarterback. We brought in John Fox. Wasn't John Fox's guy? What happened? Didn't happen, right? Then they brought in Nagy. Remember? I mean, you remember this, Delilah?
No, I know, but Nicole's right. The Saints are looking at him, too. I forgot.
Yeah, no, right. That's why I did put that. Let's put Nicole's comment back up real quick so you guys can see.
No, that's right. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, it says, waking up to a new day. Hello, new coach. Detroit is not even out of the playoffs, and we got a coach. Well, there you go.
Sorry,
I love it. Nicole, I always love your comments. You are the best.
Yeah, I forgot. You're right. I forgot he's interviewing over there, too.
But, yeah, I mean, and that's what I said. Like, it's just, I just feel like it reeks of John Fox. That just doesn't make me too happy. But, again, I am not Ryan Poles, and I don't know what is going on. And I'm just like, we even brought in Ron Rivera. And I thought that was kind of the same thing. I mean, at least they brought Ron in to talk to him personally. But it's like, that was probably more of a courtesy because, Ron played here, coached here under Lovey. Like,
he led our defense until he didn't.
Until he did it, exactly. So, I think Ron was just kind of giving the respect of you're a former guy here. We'll bring you in and talk to you. But
I take him as a DC, though.
I mean, if he's willing to do that, absolutely. Like, he's like, hey, I'll come in as your D coordinator. Fantastic, Ron. I would love that. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. And this is Chicago, so we'll probably make the wrong choice. And I'll be cursing next season as well.
Is there anyone you guys would be interested to have?
I do like Pete Carroll.
Any of the other ones?
Besides Pete, okay, what's intriguing to me, and the name was just brought up in the last 2 days, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to bring it, because here's my thing. We're probably going to bring in a first-time coach, let's be honest. That's what we do.
Right.
Like, that's what we're good for because it's cheaper. It's all that, that's what we're going to do. So if you're going to do that,
correct.
Why not bring in somebody who at least you've seen the guy motivate his team? Like, he looks like he has a great respect in that locker room.
He's going to the Natty.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, think about it. He lost to Peter Nice Huskies in week 2, and his team we were happy with that victory, but his team totally rebounded after that. He probably told him, guys, wake your ass up. This is a loss we can't afford to take. We got to move forward. Forget about this. Let's move on. And look where they are now. Playing Ohio State next week for the chance at the national championship.
Playing those clips every week.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
Tell y'all what. If Marcus Freeman winds up coaching in any way whatsoever in Chicago, there will be a massive influx in ticket sales amongst female. I can't even say it. Female football fans.
Oh, sure.
This one
might even convince Tina to wear a Bears jersey.
We might. No, she will never do that, though. No. But it's funny you mentioned that, Anthony, because it seems like the women on our show have talked about something. Wait, let me play this.
And you put on the shirt, and I can see your whole rib cage because you're trying to show off your obliques and everything, man. Look, you got money. You ain't got to flex.
Yes. The clip I wish was longer. The one that goes on where you definitely saw Tina and Delilah get a little hot and bothered talking about D'Amico.
Oh, their faces were both flushed.
Right,
Delilah's face was so flushed, she was almost dark as me.
Whoa, hey now. All right, well, she could have been. That's funny.
Her face got so flushed. Her face got so flushed, she went from Puerto Rican to Dominican in like 15 seconds.
There you go. Tina, Nicole has a question for you.
No.
She said no. Sorry, Nicole, you lose.
That Super Bowl ring, then you can have him.
Then you can have him back, right?
Funny.
Broncos need a Super Bowl. Bo Nick's for president. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, women already listen. You have the fans because Simone Biles anyway. Let's get it straight. So I think people forgot that when more women started going because we want to see Simone Biles on the sidelines.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I guess that's true. Simone is great to see at Bears games now, so that's always nice, right?
She's in the right colors now.
Is her husband playing for the Bears?
Yeah, Owens plays for the Bears.
Jonathan Owens.
Yeah, Jonathan Owens. He plays.
He used to play for the Packers.
Right, he played for the Packers, got traded to the Bears or signed with the Bears, and then Simone started coming to Chicago, so it's great.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's our version of Taylor Swift. It's great. We have a celebrity at football games now. It's fantastic. So, yeah. All right, folks.
We always say Simone Biles' husband because of the comments he made previously.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of the whole thing with that. Well, guys, we're going to get off the coaches because, it's as much fun as it is. We got a lot more show for you. We got some playoffs to talk, so we're going to get to that. Here's a quick clip from a past show. We'll be back in about 35 seconds or so. Enjoy this.
I can put it. And each week I look for something that's decent, and for once it was the defense was pretty good this week. So on to whoever wants.
I just want to sing "In the Arms of the Angel." I just want to put you, isolate you on the screen, and play Sarah McLachlan and go, "For the price of an offensive line, you too can make a Broncos fan happy." In the arms of the angel. Anyway, Delilah.
And of course, that's Anthony Handis showing his vocal stylings. But okay, I mean. We probably could have done without that, but that's okay. I'm sorry, Tim.
Hey. Just because you got pipes, sir. Do not disparage my singing voice, sir.
I would never, sir. That's not what I was going to do.
I'll have you know I do a very mean impersonation of Cat Williams singing "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay."
Yes, Ben. Well, I'll tell you how it went, Ben. I declined the job that I was offered because I told Ryan Poles that we got to do things my way or none at all. And Ryan said, "I'm very sorry. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time." That was it. I had my time at Hallis Hall, and now I'm done, Ben. I can't do it, buddy. I don't know what's happening. I'm telling you, it's a mess out here in Chicago. It's definitely
he hit you with the Russell Simmons. Thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night.
That's right. Exactly. That's pretty much what happened.
Our sports teams all suck. It's bad.
Right, we know. It's okay. Like we're very aware of what's going on in this town. All right, here we go. So it is, of course, this past weekend was NFL wildcard weekend, and we had a slew of games. So we're going to get into talking about those really quick. So first game was Texans-Chargers, 32-12. My goodness. And here was my thing with this because everybody was down on Texas because of Houston as they played the last 4 or 5 weeks. Right. Everybody's like, "Nah, this will be a one and done. Chargers should take." I mean, pretty much everybody picked the Chargers in this game.
Mm-hmm. I did too. I'll be honest.
No, I did too, Delilah. You're not alone. Believe me. Like I said, just about everybody took the LA Chargers. Jim Harbaugh and the resurgence in there, and Herbert again had 3 interceptions all year. Then he decides to throw 4 in one game. Like, come on, Justin. Like, talk about proving you can't do well in the playoffs. Yeah, Andy, what did he pull?
And he pulled a Carson Beck, huh?
He did. He absolutely did. But I mean, it was amazing because you're sitting there watching, going, "Where are you throwing?"
Yeah.
Like it's not even like it would have been different if like there was I can't even talk now. Like it was batted ball or something, or it was.
I turned it off. It got boring. I was like,
It did though. Like this was one of those games where you just go, Houston's way ahead. They're, the defense is playing well. Herbert's playing like crap, and you just, and I was so excited because I thought Herbert finally had a good year, like he really did with Jim Harbaugh there. They really got the offense going this year, and you thought, okay, this is the Justin Herbert I've always wanted to see, and then gets to the playoffs.
Did they draft the quarterback? Do you think now? I don't think there's anybody coming in good in college like you guys.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of drafting a quarterback for LA?
Because of how he played. Do you think they'll look for some new quarterback?
I mean, isn't he under that big contract? Isn't he still under contract, though? He had that big, like, $200-something million contract they gave him, like, just
what happened to Danny Dimes? He had a giant contract, too, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, but the Giants won 3 games.
I'm just saying.
They also gave him way too much money way too quickly.
Yeah. I get your point. No, I get your point, Delilah. But yeah, I think it's a different scenario. New York just it's a crap show, to put it mildly. And so, yeah, at least with the Chargers, you go, well, this can be fixed. Let's figure out a way to do that. But I mean, does anybody? I mean, honestly, I don't know if everybody watched all this game, but does anybody want to comment on this? Because to me, basically, this is just a butt kicking. The Chargers looked bad. The Texans looked great. Yeah, let's just move on to the next one.
Wait, hold on. I would like to say for the record, there was one bright spot in this game.
All right,
there was
Tony.
There's a young man who is a rookie who had an excellent showing with 9 receptions and 197 yards and a touchdown.
Where did
he go to school again?
Because there was no one else to throw to.
Look at you! Look at him looking his Georgia Bulldogs.
Where did he go to school? What's the boy name? Brad, Chad.
Like I said, there was no one else to throw to.
Chad McDonald's, whatever his name is.
That guy, Lad Mc something. How does the Houston Texans always get that 4:30 playoff games on Saturdays? Yeah, you know what? You're right, though, Ben. They always have the first game, it seems, every year they're in the playoffs the last few years. They always get that first game, and they got the first game again on Saturday this week.
Every
So
time we go to the East Coast, we have a noon game.
it's just crazy, though. Like the Texans, again, are playing in the first game on Saturday like they did this past weekend and last year as well. We know when they all pulled the big, it's crazy. But let's move on because, like I said, that game was pretty much a wash.
Before we do, sir, I would like to send shouts to those folks that are watching on the Facebook feed.
Of course.
We do appreciate
that's right.
We do not get to see your comments for whatever reason
guys.
coming through, but definitely shouts out to Janae and Sean, who just got off their show. And those of you that, Sean has been tagging some people, so we appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight for this episode of Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable.
We do appreciate you guys, and I'm not ignoring you. I don't get to always see the Facebook comments, so I do apologize. That's my bad. But thank you guys for watching. We do greatly.
I hope CJ feels better though, because everyone's like, he's in a sophomore slump.
So. Yeah. Well, he
came out of it at the right time.
That's exactly what my tongue-tied self was trying to say.
You know what I noticed about CJ Stroud when he's playing football? He's got that angry. He's got that face like that angry. Remember Boys in the Hood, the dude that rolled up in the Hyundai and popped Ricky.
Yes,
he looks like the dude that she looks like the dude that shot Ricky.
Yeah,
that's not Ricky. I don't know if that's a good compliment. Okay?
It wasn't. It wasn't. It's like why you look angry, like you want to roll up somebody like, what's good, cuz?
I don't.
Oh my god!
All right, and on that note, we're moving on. Okay, Ravens Steelers. Now this was a game I think that most people felt Ravens would take because again, what have the Steelers done in the playoffs in the last? Yeah, what have the Steelers done in the playoffs in the last few years? Absolutely nothing. They get it every year and lose in their first game, so the pattern has not changed. But I think this brings up a larger question, though. Obviously, the Ravens, we know what they are: Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. I mean, even still, two tight ends with Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers was hurt this last game, but you didn't really need him. It didn't matter.
It's a better team than last year.
Yeah, exactly. So we know what the Ravens are. But is this time, serious question, is it time for Mike Tomlin to go in Pittsburgh? As much as he's won every year.
Can we take him if he leaves?
That would be great, I would think. But I'm just saying, like, is this time for Mike Tomlin to go in Pittsburgh?
I will give him all the money in the world.
I think the relationship between Mike and the Steelers has just kind of
deteriorated.
I won't say deteriorated, but it's just that they have both gotten very comfortable with each other. They know that he's going to get them a winning season every year, whether they advance past the first round or not.
Yeah.
And he's going to get them at least between 10 and 12 every year. They're not going to advance past the wild card round.
Right.
And he knows that as long as he keeps winning, because they have, he's only the third coach in 50 years, and between him, Noel, and was a coach between the two, him and the Chuck Noel. I cannot remember his name.
You don't remember our guy with Mr. Mustache?
Yeah, I can see his face
Cower.
right now.
Bill
yes,
Cower.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I see him
every Sunday
on
Mr. Mustache, right? Mr. Mustache, Mr. Bill
But
Cower,
those three coaches have all brought them a Super Bowl. They will all live forever in Pittsburgh Steelers lore. But they've just grown comfortable with each other. I think he needs a fresh start someplace else. It's not that he's not a good coach, but he's also the time of what the players, the players' mentality when he first started coaching versus players' mentality now. Look, he's got to deal. He got to stop George Pickens from fighting every week.
Yeah.
Well, I think Pickens is gone.
He does have a Super Bowl win, though. Yeah. You guys forget he did get a Super Bowl with Big Ben before he retired. So
exactly. But did you see the George Pickens after, kind of really much throwing his entire teammates under the bus? Like, okay, George.
I don't think you're going to
mean the one with it. What was it? He was trying to throw them under the bus, and then somebody said, "Well, what about the pass you dropped or whatever?" And he just pulled his shiesty down and walked off.
Yeah. Ben, we might have to agree with you. If something's good enough, you just say that's Mike Tomlin, because that's pretty much what he's been the last 7-8 years. He's just been good enough. And so again,
I think that's unfair. I think I think maybe it's just stale now. It's time for him to move on to a new challenge.
Sure.
And like I said, please, if that happens, give him all you want, Bears. Because look what he did with Fields, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of how you feel about Justin, he minimized his mistakes, and I know he wasn't flashy in Pittsburgh, but that's because the Bears ruined him.
Yeah. True.
But if we bring Mike Tomlin now in Caleb Williams' second year, and you see his, so I understand like the ownership, the management, but if you watch like the videos of him with his players, they respect him and they love him.
They do.
Okay?
Absolutely.
There is not one player on that team, and he's unked to a lot of them. Like, you guys saw that video that went around where he's like, oh, you FBI, remember, because they didn't realize he was mic'd up?
Yeah, right, exactly.
You heard him cussing him out, but not bad, you know what I'm saying?
But not bad, you're right, exactly.
And so he has that demeanor of just being a mentor to so many guys. And so, like, if he leaves Pittsburgh, I'd be like, please put him on a plane, give him what you want, roll it. I don't care. Like, give him what he wants, because that would be a huge shift. Because we know that the head coach that was there for the Bears, like, ruined and threw a bomb in that whole place, and everybody's, like, down or whatever. And so we do need somebody, like you said, who could, like, lift that up. But outside of that, I agree with Tina, and I agree with you, Nick. I think that, and Anthony, it's just, they've been together too long. I think they just got comfortable. You know, it's a bad analogy, but it's like that couple that gets comfortable, but they don't really love each other.
Wow! Oh, wow! We're going deep now, girls. You get into relationships.
It's a good. No, it's a good analogy.
I know what you're saying. Yeah,
because they're just used to being with each other.
Yeah, they're used to each other.
So they just keep rolling
and they're afraid,
along.
Yeah, and they're afraid of.
They don't want to piss the other one off.
Exactly.
Because that would upset the apple cart.
Right.
Did we just have an Ileana fix my life moment?
But it's a good analogy.
No, it is. I'll agree. I do agree with you. It is a good analogy.
And you're afraid to take that break because, like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I know this.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that.
Right. Yeah, so I think definitely, I'll be interested to see how that happens, what happens with Mike Tomlin, I don't think. But again, we will get more to the Ravens later. Let's go to our next game, which Tina, I know, had an...
Well,
sure, go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys get Mike Tomlin, you might be bringing Russell Wilson with you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true. No, I don't know that I want that, but
I don't mind him as backup. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, right. If he's going to stay behind Caleb, that might be fine.
Well, that's not like the Steelers finally got to feel our pain.
Right, there you go. Well, that's a great segue, Tina, because no offense, you felt some pain in this game a little bit with your Broncos again. You know, it is what it is. They were playing the Bills 2-7 game. You know, the first half looked good. You guys, you know, I mean, you unfortunately missed that field goal to tie at halftime, but still 10-7 at halftime. You had to feel good about how it was going. What happened the rest of the way there, Tina?
The wheels fell off the bus. I mean, there was flashes. There was points there. I do think that Sean and them were trying to maybe be a little conservative. It just didn't work out. But to kind of go a little bit to what Nicole said earlier, like, is there a difference with playoff experience compared to the regular season? Absolutely. We had a really, really young team. We had a team that was also constrained by a $40 million cap hit. So you get all that stuff. You can't get free agents. You can't get playoff experience. And it's a big factor. And I think that also goes with why they keep going with Tomlin. He's got the regular season and the playoff experience to take young guys into that area. All right, my cat just hit a button. But yeah, I mean, the Bills, I figured we were going to lose this game anyways.
Right.
And I know it's a cliche, but in my head, I'm like, it's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be close.
It's going to be close. Well, I was hoping for the close game when I saw the 10-7. I was thinking,
I did too.
Yeah.
I did.
13-7, we're still in this.
I picked the Bills
to
win. But I picked the Bills to win, but I really thought, because your defense really got better as the season went on, I really thought, no, they're going to be a challenge, you know, and, but...
When your defense is on the field for half the game...
As much as they were, right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%, Ben. I have no issues with the team. They're young. Mm-hmm. They did a lot with what they had. And my analogy for the last 2 weeks has been, this is the 2015 Chicago Cubs. They were 2 years ahead of time when they went into the postseason. They surprised the hell out of the Cardinals and got their asses kicked in the next round.
They sure did.
They were back they were back in for the championship the next year.
They were.
We may see some sophomore stuff, but I'll take it. Bo Nix has shown a lot of promise, and he's shown a lot of maturity too. I mentioned him a couple of times, but other people like you guys should watch his breakdown of Caleb Williams. Tim Jenkins does his breakdown, and he breaks down Caleb Williams, and he was breaking down Jaden Daniels for a while. Yeah. So next year he'll probably start breaking down whoever the rookie is and things like that.
Right.
He has a really good analysis showing you like, okay, that was bad. This is something to watch. This is something good.
Yeah.
Right. Nope. Tina, I was rooting for your Broncos in some way, but I picked Buffalo obviously to win this game, and I actually picked them to get to the Super Bowl this year. I feel like they could beat Kansas City and get that monkey off their back. But again, tough game with the Ravens next week. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I gotta get through.
Let's move on to the next game. We already know what happened there. This game, Eagles-Packers. Go ahead. All right, Henry. No,
I just wanted to say for the record, I know this is not necessarily pleasant for you because the Broncos did lose, but I'm just looking at the stats and Josh Allen was, he had a couple of hundred, just under 300 yards and only a couple of touchdowns. But you know what is a really bright spot for that game? There's this kid, this running back for Buffalo, and he had 120 yards on 23 carries, average 5.2 per carry, and managed to score a touchdown on a 19-yard run. I cannot for the life of me remember what the hell his name is.
There he goes.
He went to this school, that one.
Is that where he went? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's where he went. He went to that school.
I was trying to remember. I just could not for the life of me remember.
Sean chimed in. He said, did he go to Georgia? Is that where? Georgia. Okay.
You know what? But wait a minute. Jokes aside. Jokes aside, I do have to say this. Mm-hmm. To see Damar Hamlin.
Yes.
When he made that,
I said the same thing.
I got a couple of creepers behind that because that boy almost died on the field a couple of years ago.
That he did.
And to see him out there balling, I was like, I was like Will Smith at the end of Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, jeez.
You guys see the fake punt we pulled off?
Huh?
Did you guys see the fake punt we pulled off? That was a highlight. If you haven't seen that, go watch that.
I did actually. I was wondering, how do you do that? How do you not know that the ball did not go to that guy? Like, I didn't get that. To me, how they got fooled on that, I'm like, nobody was paying attention. I'm sorry. Like, I did see that, I'm going, how do you not know that guy didn't get the ball? That's all I'm saying. Like, that thing was something else. I'm like, I've never seen that in my life. Come on. What are we doing here, people? I mean, yes, it was a great highlight, like you said, but I just like, come on. All right, now let's move on.
He did. Your guy did fine.
Absolutely. But here we go. This is a game that I was happy to see because I was hoping the Packers wouldn't try to pull what they did last year by winning in week. But then again, they beat a weak Dallas team last year, so nobody cared. But yeah, Eagles Packers again, 2-7 game. To me, the Eagles kind of let the Packers almost get back in this game. They kind of let off the gas in the first half. They kept them in the game. Like, alone with the turnovers and everything, the first half, this game should have been like 24-30 to nothing by the end of the first half, and it's so close. And I'm just going, no, please, for all that is holy, do not let the Packers stay in this game and pull something.
I picked the Packers for the upset. And
did you? Okay.
I'm a Bears fan, but I've seen them do it before.
Yeah.
And also, I haven't been sold on the Eagles this season at all.
Okay.
Not because of Saquon, he's a beast. But that's just Saquon Barkley. That's different animal. But I haven't been super impressed with their wins and losses. And I was like, the Packers could take them. Like, I really believe that. And at first half, I was like, okay, maybe they will beat them. Yeah. But then I don't know what happened in the locker room at halftime. I don't know, obviously we know it's not just oranges like K-Man said.
Oranges.
because sorry, I always remember that. But
no, it's all right.
But obviously something happened because the Eagles came out, and even though they were like crazy, because they also gave Packers multiple chances to get back in here, but then they started running away with it, and then just Packers offense just lost all life. I'm sorry, like it's just I don't know, like people started getting hurt, and then they just looked just flat.
Yeah,
it's because of their defense. This would have been worse if it wasn't for their defense. So kudos to the Packers defense because they also kept Saquon Barkley in check. Saquon had no touchdowns, none, zero touchdowns.
And see that right there, bookmark that. That right there is why the hell they should have let Saquon play and break that record. I'm done talking about that.
No, it's okay. I mean, a lot of people, again, you saw though how much of a team player Saquon was earlier in the year when they had the clip of him going, "No, let these kids eat. Don't worry about me. I'm good." Blah blah. Like he's about the team, and it's.
He really is.
Again, and I understand. You don't want anybody to get hurt, so you rested last week. The game doesn't mean anything for you. You're a 2 seed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess if they could have played him to get him the record. What did he need? 100 yards or something? What was it?
100, 100 to tie, 101 to break.
101 to break. Yeah. Ben has an interesting point. Well, Ben, sorry, Ben, that was for our last game. I apologize, but Ben did have an interesting point, and we'll see if the Ravens indeed are frauds, Ben, or are they, as you call it, fool's gold, or the Bills are fool's gold. I'm sorry. Right, the Bills are fool's gold. We're going to find out because they're playing the Ravens next week. We'll talk about that in a minute, Ben. We'll come back to you.
But yeah, I'm not impressed by the Eagles. That's all. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. And again, this weekend could be a big game for them as well because who do they play? Los Angeles Rams. And again, you got
Puka.
Yeah, right. You got Tina's favorite new player in the Puka Nakua, right? Well, maybe we'll get Tina to do her dance later. But again, it's just I know you can. Believe me, it's still one of our favorite clips. We absolutely love that one. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a matter of.
Me too, Ben.
I actually could, Ben. That's why.
I would love it.
And again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very big possibility, Ben. It really is, and I think which would make Scott Thaler happy. So we'll see how that goes. But, again, Eagles-Packers, nothing much here. Again, Eagles move on, get the Rams next week. Let's go on to our next one, which I know we have some Commanders fans in our group.
This was a good game.
This was probably the best game of the weekend in terms of
This was my favorite game the whole weekend.
Back and forth action. I'm not going to lie. This game was a toss-up for me. Again, I love Baker Mayfield. I like what he's done. I like the comeback. But you got to like Jaden Daniels, too. And again, this was one of those games where it could have went either way, and you showed that. They went back and forth. The lead changes, blah, 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 blah. But in the end, the Commanders come out on top when, a rookie gets his first playoff win in his first year. I mean, you got to love the story.
Yep.
I mean, what did you guys – any thoughts on this game? I mean, in terms of just what you saw, is this another thing again with the Buccaneers – do they start looking at we got to start over too? Is Baker the answer? Is he not the answer? What are we going to do here? Yes.
If you get rid of Baker, you're dumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
He's not the problem.
Absolutely not. And he has a way, and they brought this up during the broadcast at some point. He has a way of firing those guys up. Remember they showed the clip where he had the hard run and initiated contact during the tackle. Stood over the defender and then let his boys handle business while he walked off. And then during this game where he had that run, I think it was off left. I think it was off left tackle, and he went down there looking for contact.
Well, he took out Bobby Wagner.
Yeah,
he just leveled him. Like he just literally Wagner just went, see ya.
Baker Mayfield is. I mean, he had. I watched him play here his last year. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't here yet, but I watched him play his last year at Oklahoma. At that point, I was deep up in the college football, and he had some. There was some comparisons made to Johnny Football, minus maybe the drugs and the alcohol, about how cocky he was and things of that nature. But he is a baller. I mean, he was. You could see him sitting on the sidelines beating himself up over that fumble. That is Yeah. So,
and see, that's the thing too. Like, it always, it's so sad when you see that where it comes down to like that one play, and the guy's having a pretty decent game, and he's doing. You can see he's fighting, he's scrapping, he's trying to get his, and then the fumble happens, and you just go, oh, the air comes out of you. You kind of, like you said, you see him sitting there dejected on the sideline. And the thing is too, again, watching that final kick just gave me a really bad flashback because I saw you just see the doink and you go, no way, and then but his went through and they win, and Zane Gonzalez is a hero for a week in, Washington for his performance. So, good on Washington. Again, it's again,
like I said,
sorry to Ben and Johnny Dean, Andrew, all you Buccaneers fans. It was, you had a pretty good season. Baker had a good season.
Hey, as a Falcons fan, I saw no problem with the Buccaneers losing, but
well, we know that. We know them, and you guys beat them twice this year, so that there you go.
And still wound up sitting at home watching them lose to the Commanders.
That is correct.
Listen, like I said, I don't think it's Baker Mayfield. I do think that they need to sit down and think about like their pieces.
Yeah.
But I would not get a new quarterback. To me, that would be catastrophic.
Well, that's the thing, Delilah. Like when you look at the offense as a whole. Yeah, I mean, because
he's
got Bucky Irvin seemed like he had a good year. You still got Mike Evans, Cade Otton as your tight end. Like the offense, I think, is still really good and viable. And I like Baker Mayfield. I personally don't think they should look elsewhere either. But it's a question you ask because, again, ever since Brady left, and that's what people, this is that league now where if you're not winning or if you're not winning playoff games and you're not doing this or that, people start looking to throw you out the door and let's move on to something new so we could win here. So, again, I hope.
In my opinion,
they lost on a field goal.
Right.
I know.
Exactly.
I understand.
That would be ridiculous. Literally, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ever since Brady left, didn't they win the last, like, the division the last 2 years with Baker Mayfield? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, in my opinion, it's not Baker Mayfield. They should look at their defense. Their defense is to me, they should look at their defense.
Well, it's an older defense in some spots too.
And
so yeah, you do have to start looking at what
maybe build up your defense. Maybe brings, I like Mike Evans. He had a good season too, but maybe give him some help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he was also out for like
exactly. Right. I think if you
what that team would be like with him back in there during that time.
I think you would lose your leadership because I agree with like Anthony and Nick. It's like Baker Mayfield like literally injected just a different like vibe in the Buccaneers. The guys are happy. They're excited to play for him. Like he gets the fans like motivated. To me, I think it'll be a big mistake. Because one, I don't see a quarterback you could bring in to replace him. Tell me I'm wrong. What quarterback is going to come in here that's available? Contract is up. You don't have to throw a lot of money. All of the college experts that I follow you guys, you tell me this is not the year for quarterbacks, correct? That I'm just listening to the experts. Yeah. So when the draft comes up, I've been told it's not the year for quarterbacks. And right now there's not a viable quarterback to replace, in my opinion, Baker Mayfield. And so I feel like that would be a mistake. I think you would sink your season, to be honest, which would be good to everybody else in your division because they'll have a shot.
Yeah, and your boy must have thought so too, Andy, because instead of declaring for the draft, Mr. Beck went down to Miami. So I'm guessing, quarterbacks are not aplenty in this draft this year. So there you go.
Look, Carson Beck, I'm going to say this again. Carson Beck went to Miami to be with his girlfriend.
I know, but I'm just saying.
He got an Instagram model point guard girlfriend playing for 14-2 Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, all right, that's
she
true.
got a little NIL money. He got some NIL money. He's young. I mean, I'm sorry if I was. I think I would probably be. I would be lying if I said I was 22 years old.
Exactly.
No, I know.
I would be right down in Miami.
100%.
100%.
No, I know. It's just funny that you're like. Earlier, he was ready to declare for the draft. It's like, no, you know what? I'm going to go to Miami. What? Yeah, I'll change my mind. I like this college thing, and my girlfriend's hot. So I'm going to go,
Exactly what happened. He declared for the draft, and his girlfriend was like, what? So that's what we doing now? And we're going back and forth, and then he was like, okay. Remember that Eddie Murphy skit on Raw? With the girl, how you supposed to love me? I thought you loved me. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
That's
it.
Listen, I got to go back to something. Y'all were talking about the doink. I think that the moment of the game for me was watching Gonzalez trying not to lose his mind as he was getting ready to kick.
With the hair parts and the helmet, takes it off, does his hair again, puts the helmet on, does it? Yeah.
Dude, he looked like he was tweaking.
Didn't he just replace the kicker though? Wasn't everything?
They had like 4 kickers this year. Yeah, literally, like he was the last. He was just the last one that they got in there, right? Like they had like 4 kickers this year.
Well, will the tweaker be back?
You know what? We'll find out.
In the tweaker for the rest of
the tweaker. Maybe the kid just has a very bad OCD or something. I don't know, but he really looked like
that could be entirely possible. He may be neurodivergent, but I mean, he was.
Can you?
He had like 6 kickers.
But can you imagine? Like, I'm the fourth or fifth kicker, and you're sending me.
No, it said 6. We'll go with Sean. He's a Commanders fan. Sean, how many kickers was it? He was a really he has very bad OCD.
Oh yes, I understand the pressure. He probably didn't think it would come down to that, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way,
buddy,
our playoff
comes down to you, pal." Exactly. Like, sorry,
OCD as a kicker,
but we are going to leave you.
Well, you know what though? I've heard rumored that the kickers are some of the most superstitious people on.
Yes, well, that's the thing. They are.
I mean, they have these insane. Like there's that whole.
You call him up. He's
like even when Yang Wei Koo. You ever notice he's got like this ballet potager stance?
Oh yeah, he does
exactly. Almost completely out of socket. It's a thing. It's a.
You guys remember Janikowski?
Sebastian, of course, the big Polish kid from the Raiders. Yeah, that guy was
John Gruden has got a hilarious story about him. Like he couldn't hit anything for a couple of weeks. Couldn't hit anything. They go to an away game. He shows up. He's perfect the whole game. But before he goes into the game, one of the assistant coaches goes, "Coach, you can't put him in. Why not? He's drunk."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sebastian. Yeah, he had his. But I mean, that guy had a foot. That guy
before the game.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have settled his nerves.
I'm glad Gonzalez made it. Thank you, sir.
Right.
I
love that. That was a good one, Ben. We'll
By the way, speaking of kickers, I have to pull away from the playoffs for a second to send a shout out to a kicker that is near and dear to my heart. Those of you remember I talked about Rodrigo Blankenship and how great a kicker he was when he was at Georgia before he got drafted by the Colts. And he was kicking at like over 80%, and then he had an injury, and he was never the same. He got cut by the Colts. Today, Rodrigo Blankenship, Mr. Respect the Specs himself, now has found a football home. He signed with the St. Louis Battlehawks in the UFL.
There you go.
So this might mark the comeback of Goggles. I didn't mean to sidetrack the thing, but I just saw the story pop up, and I had to give him a shout out. So
that's fine. Yes, Mr. Glasses, Mr. Blankenship, right? He always had the specs on. You can always see him through his helmet. All right. Well, again, Commanders move on. They get the Lions this weekend. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Our last game, which again, I think everybody was expecting more and they didn't get more. And so in the immortal words of Denny Green, the Vikings.
But they are who we thought they were.
Because, yes, everybody knows that people have dogged the Vikings all year despite winning 14 games. Everybody was like, who have they played? They haven't done this, they haven't done that. And then what did the Vikings do? In true Viking fashion, they go out and show you that everybody was probably right. This, to me, just from the start, the way the Rams just came out, the way this all happened, the Vikings at times just looked lifeless. They didn't have any answers. The Rams defense was all over Sam Darnold. This was just one of those games where, again, I'm going to admit to this, even though I love watching Monday Night Football, I was so disinterested. I turned the volume down on the television, and I was watching Monday Night Raw on my phone because I wanted to leave the game on so I could think. But I'm watching my phone, watching Monday Night Raw because after a while, I'm just like, this game is going nowhere. The Vikings have no offense. Nothing is happening, and I just was so disinterested that I just had it on in the background.
After about the third or fourth sack, I think I fell asleep.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, I went back and caught the highlights.
Exactly.
I didn't watch the whole game. I had to get up in the morning anyway, so I was like, "That was good."
I turned it off too, and I was rooting for the Rams to win, and I just turned it off and was like, I can see this on my phone.
Yeah, it just
reaction that some of my friends had to my game. They were like, "This is the most boring game I've ever seen." And if you're not a Bills or a Broncos fan, you're gonna think it's boring. It's
You know what though? I mean, it was a boring game, but I gotta give a shout out to that quarterback from the Rams. He didn't have an outstanding game.
There we go. He
was fairly decent. He threw for 209 yards, a couple touchdowns, and no picks. With a QB rating of almost 118.
Oh, I'm sorry. We lost Handy there for a second. I'm not sure what happened. Technical difficulties. We'll definitely try to get Handy back in a minute. I'm not sure what quite happened there, but
Handy, Georgia limit. We had to cut him off.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, Handy, just why? Okay, is it safe? Okay, we'll bring it back now. Oh, sorry, Handy. I'm not sure what happened there. I think we got
a lot of dogs.
Yeah, technical difficulties. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but glad you're back. Thanks for rejoining us. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
One of these days, Nicholas Rosario, I'm going to be at the controls.
That's right. I took control this week, and look what happens. Anarchy, I tell you. But no, again, Vikings just didn't put in a good performance, and now they're gone again. They're going to be sitting at home watching everybody else play in the playoffs. But again, for the Rams, this sets up nicely for them. I think, again, we're going to talk about that in our next segment. Because, actually, we're going to move on.
I'm glad they made it
at the right time.
They are.
No, exactly. And so here, let's get into it. Actually, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into this just because we've been talking for a little while. We'll give you guys a chance to decompress, and maybe Handy won't have any more technical difficulties. We'll see. But here's a clip from an old show that I think I just find this one funny, so let's see.
Contavious Street, 2024 for a 2024 6th rounder. If you play 6 games, or it's a conditional 7th round pick in 2025. How do you feel about this, Andy? Beefing up that defensive line.
I thought Contavious Street was a good place to go get some good barbacoa. I didn't realize that was a real person.
Oh man, I love it.
All right, there we go. Yes, Contavious Street, the best place to get barbacoa, according to Anthony Handy. So that's always a fun clip. Let us move on. As I said, we're going to the AFC divisional playoffs this weekend. Go ahead. Yes, what happened?
They also have very good burn-in sandwiches down there too. Just so you know, I went and checked it out.
Oh, very good, very good. So for guys, if you're in the Oklahoma area, go find Contavious Street. Anthony says they have great burnt-in sandwiches. So we'll take your word for that one, sir. Let's go. Let's move on. I'm sorry. I got the giggles now. I'm laughing at everything. I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm a professional, darn it. What are you doing to me? This is terrible. No, but right. First game this weekend is, again, the Texans, because they seem to play every first game in the playoffs, right? So they got the Texans and the Chiefs at 3:30 Central Time on Saturday. That's for all of us because we all live in the Central Time Zone. Guys, what do we think about this one? This is going to be, to me, a better game than I think a lot of people think it's going to be. I like what I saw from the Texans last week, and I hope they come out with that same fire and that same thing because, again, as much as we know who the Chiefs are, the starters really haven't played in, a month almost?
21 days.
How much, Tina?
It'll be 21 days.
21 days, so 3 weeks by the time they play. So what do you guys think of this matchup? Chiefs-Texans, first game on Saturday. Go ahead. We'll just go around the horn. You guys can. Delilah, we'll start with you.
I would love the Texans to do the upset, okay? I would love it. For the Texans as a team, for C.J. Stroud as a second year in the league, to beat Kermit would be great. I just don't see it happening.
No, I hear you. Again, I think that's good.
Something happens again. Remember last season when it wasn't favorable for the Chiefs and people were accusing them of having referees in their back pocket this season? Yeah. And they played pretty crummy and they barely made it into the playoffs. And people were like, oh no. And I'm like, something happens to Kermit. I will always call him that because I love you. Yeah. Something just shifts in his brain in the playoffs. I cannot explain it. It doesn't matter if the rest of his players are not shooting off cylinders. He basically finds ways to make these plays. If he's doing backflips, weird twists, I don't know. Okay? I don't
Didn't he one time do the smooth criminal lean? I thought he saw the smooth criminal lean one time.
Right? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what it is. Remember last year he got Miyagi'd and came out and won? Do you remember that? He went down and like, oh, he got Miyagi'd and
they gave him that.
And he went out there.
That was it. Put it on him and he went back out. Right?
And then we saw the documentary that proved he really does have a Miyagi on his team. But anyway,
right, exactly.
But like seriously, something just switches. I would love the upset. I just don't see it happening. I'd be happy if they did, but I'm still gonna give it to the Chiefs. Just something just happens. They all flip, especially Kermit. It's just a different mentality.
Totally, I agree. Tina, you had your impressions for this weekend, or what you think of this game? Anything you want to say?
Get him first. I'm working through something.
She's working through it. Tahindi, what do you got, buddy? What do you think?
I want to see. I think C.J. Stroud. I joked about him looking angry all the time. I think one of the biggest reasons I think he looks like that is he's a good quarterback on a not bad NFL team, but I don't think he gets a lot of the props and the flowers as some of the other. I mean, there because of course right now Mahomes is kind of the face of the league.
Yeah,
Mahomes and the Chiefs, and then behind that you got the Josh Allens and you got your Lamar Jacksons, and you got all that going on. I don't think he gets a lot of props for his football acumen, his dedication to his team, as both as a member of the team and as the leader of the offense.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him pull this, because if they manage to pull this off, you know how it goes. All the credit goes to the QB.
Yeah.
And all the credit and blame falls on the QB, despite the fact that there are two other units, the defense and the special teams.
Right.
But I would love to see this happen. Do I think it will happen? I think the Chiefs are probably gonna. Patrick Mahomes is gonna do some Penn and Teller crap, and he's gonna go to pretend to throw the ball. He's gonna pretend to throw the ball, and you think he tucked it behind his back, but then the back judge is signaling a touchdown because somehow or another Travis managed to get it, and you never saw him throw it. So, they got him with the old squeezy ball and the red solo cup trick. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
Yeah, or Mahomes is going to disappear under a sea of Texas tacklers, and he's going to pop up out of the end zone because, like Taylor Swift at a concert, like it's going to be something.
I don't know. I feel it comes down to what Nick was saying. You have to outscore them. People have beaten Kermit, and they beaten him in the playoffs. It doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened. Burrow did it a few years ago. You know what I mean? So, you have to outscore the Chiefs. That's how you beat them. And that's the thing. Can C.J. Stroud and the Texans outscore? Because they've had some good games, but I don't recall where back-to-back they're shooting in the 30s, because that's really how you're going to do it. I'm sorry.
No, right. Yeah.
You literally have to shoot out and, you cannot be at 22. You cannot be at 27. You know what I mean? Like, that's how.
But that's the dumbest thing about the Chiefs this season is like
they haven't even scored. They didn't even average 30 points. They were averaging but it's
the other side.
But the scary, stupid thing about them this season is, let's just say the Texans come out and they start running. Somehow or another, the Chiefs are Andy Reid is gonna figure out. He's like, okay, they really want to play. Let's go.
Yeah. No, I got you. I mean, like I said, I think the Chiefs win as well, as much as I would love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm picking the Chiefs. It has been done. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. And again, we'd love to see it, but like I said, come playoff time, Mahomes and the boys, they're ready to go. Tina, I'm sorry, Tina, what were you going to?
What was I going to say?
Yeah, what were you going to say, Tina?
You said defer to.
I got to go back to when I was a young kid. Hail Mary, full of grace. Please let Kermit fall on his face. And C.J. Stroud hits every right receiver on his team, though, so the Chiefs finally don't get their 3-time Super Bowl win in a row.
There you go. That's it, folks. That's it. And on that note, we're going to go to the next game because we all know how we feel about this one. All right. So, again, the second game in the AFC is on Sunday at 5:30. Obviously, a lot of us are looking at this game going, this could be the game that determines who might come out of the AFC into the Super Bowl. In this particular, Ravens-Bills. I'll just get this out of the way. I picked the Bills to get to the Super Bowl this year. I'm going to stick with them. I know who the Ravens are. I've seen them. I know they got Derrick Henry. I know they got Lamar Jackson. Again, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. I get it. I do. And if there was ever a year where you felt like the Ravens could do it, I think it's this year. But at the same time, I'm just holding that special place in my heart for Josh Allen and just feeling like this is the year Buffalo actually gets it done. So I'm just, to get it out of the way, I'm taking the Bills. Whatever, I'm just taking the Bills. We'll go on. So, Handy, we'll start with you.
I think if there's a year where the Ravens can get over the playoff hump, this is it. And I say this because primarily the onus of victory or defeat has lain strictly on the shoulders of one Lamar Jackson. The team lived and died by his performance. One of the smartest things the Ravens did was go out and get Derrick Henry.
I think we
because now you have a double-headed monster at offense. Because if the DBs hang back in the cut and wait for Lamar to make you know what I'm saying? Now they don't know if D. Henry's coming rolling downhill, and he looks rejuvenated. That touchdown he ran, when was that? When was their game? Their game was Sunday, wasn't it? Or was it Saturday?
Yeah, he got touchdown. He mowed over them guys. We've seen it.
Yeah, it looked like and made it look easy. Was just like kind of, excuse me, fellas, and it took off and ran in the end zone like it was nothing.
I mean,
so now you got.
I wouldn't have it his way. Have y'all seen?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the commercial. I know it's a commercial, and it probably wasn't as heavy. But any man that's throwing around refrigerators talking about homes, I'm getting out of his way. Excuse me, sir. Did you need to get through? I'm sorry. My apologies. Let me get out of it. Just let me know when you get by. We'll put everything back. Like, you got Derrick Henry at running back. You've got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Now all of a sudden, I don't know if you noticed. I mean, I've even noticed just over the season, Lamar looks like he's able to sit in the pocket now, because before they were keying up on him, going, if we shut the receivers down, he'll run.
Right,
and
he'll run. Yeah.
But now they got to run. They got. I don't know if I want to tackle Derrick Henry, man. Y'all saw him. Y'all saw him cable pressing the car engine. I don't want no parts of that. I mean, he's got some of the absolute insane workouts in the NFL. Yeah. Any man that's got like a 70-pound chain around his neck, 70-pound chain around his neck doing hamstring presses is nah. I want no parts of that. So I think if any time this is a year the Ravens will do it. I think the Ravens do it. I think the Ravens get by the Bills this year.
All right,
I do.
No problem. Tino, how about you?
I'm going to go with the Bills for the emotional purpose that I want Von Miller to have his third Super Bowl ring with his third team.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I didn't like Von. I stopped liking Von Miller was using that cheesy commercial dancing with 7 other versions of himself in the Cowboys.
How is that any different than Jameis Winston?
Right. It's
Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston is entertaining. I mean, I did you see his speech about the Popeyes chicken? Let's go out there and have some Popeyes chicken together. I'm going to clip that together before this season is over. And love that chicken from Popeyes.
Maybe Andy's just mad because Von Miller didn't go to Georgia.
Like because he does have a chicken farm. He probably sells to Popeyes.
I don't care if Von Miller didn't go to Georgia.
In Texas. It might be out of the way.
Sorry, Eddie. That's not one of your Georgia boys. Sorry, Handy. Sorry, we can't talk about one of your Georgia boys right now. He's not there. But Delilah, how about you? How do you feel about?
I'll pull it up.
I know you will. How do you feel about Ravens Bills? What do you got?
I'm going with the Ravens, and it's not just because Derrick Henry. It's because I saw that even though like one of the receivers were out, right, but he still got a touchdown with Hill, and then he got a touchdown with Bateman.
He did.
And so outside of the fact that now he's not doing all the rushing himself,
right?
This team is just better than last year's, who we thought were going to go all the way, right?
Yeah.
But this, I do agree with Anthony. The best thing they could have done was sign Derrick Henry.
Yeah. No, totally. Yep.
He was like dying in the Titans, and I said that the last few years on the show. I'm like, he's dead weight there. Like, what's he doing? But he gets Lamar Jackson gets blamed for everything, which is unfortunate. It doesn't matter.
Oh, sorry.
Even though we shoot out stats, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he's got like super high passing rating. He's got whatever, and he just cannot get past that. I think it's unfair. There's a lot of reasons why I think that happens. I'm not gonna get into it on this show, but he gets unfairly treated like he shouldn't be one of the top tier quarterbacks, even though he's got 2 MVPs under his belt, probably a third. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, totally.
Like, shoot for shoot. And like over the last few years, completely improved his passer rating, passing.
Right.
Like,
well, that was the biggest knock. He couldn't pass.
And then all of a sudden, last few years, what? Oh, he can pass. And
right.
It's like, yes, he can, because now people are blocking for him. They gave him an offense. Imagine that someone gives him an offensive line.
Totally.
So like, I am with Anthony. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
All right, sounds good. Now again, to me, like I said, either team who wins this game, I feel like right. Well, I mean, because I feel like whoever wins this game is who might go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I really think this year Kansas City goes down, but again, we can talk about that later. Let's move on to the good old AFC playoffs. Sorry, I got the crawl there. I take that off, hide that. Okay.
We're going to.
I know what I'm doing. All right, let's go. Commanders Lions, 7 o'clock on Saturday. Sorry, it's the second game on Saturday. What do you guys think about this one? Delilah, we'll go back to you and go around the horn again.
Oh, who? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Commanders Lions.
Sean, I love you. I want you to know that, and all the Commanders fans watching today. I'm not a Commanders hater. I think Jaden Daniels is amazing. I think he will get Rookie of the Year, and even though it should be based on regular season, we know how that goes.
Right.
And so I do believe he'll get, Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I got to go with the Detroit Lions on this one. Just based on this experience and just the fact that they seem to be on a warpath. Somehow, here's why. Every time people said they should have lost because they've lost their defense, that they've been decimated, that blah, 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 they come out and they still beat people.
Yeah.
They still beat people on their third string, their fourth string. Like Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson, who I know, like, that's another person that people are looking at if, whatever happens after the playoffs. But, like, somehow they have made sure that every player that is replacing the player is ready. I don't think I've ever seen something like that. Most teams will prep, like, their first two, maybe their third, because things just happen. But their fourth or fifth or bringing somebody, like, literally was not. I don't think I've seen that. And so that's the only reason. Now, it's not going to be a blowout, because I know people probably think that. No, because the Commanders have a good defense, and Jaden Daniels and their offense is solid. So it's not going to be a blowout, but I still got to give this to Detroit. But I love you, Commander fans.
No, again, Tina, what do you think?
I think the Commanders are going to hit the wall that the Broncos hit. They're a good team. They in their playoff, because of the way they played throughout the year, they were able to play a team that was in a like position as them. Right. I think they're going to run into the Lions juggernaut. So it's it'll just be, I think it'll be a little too much. Okay. And they'll take over.
No, so that's fair. Handy,
and I do agree with Delilah that I do think Jaden is going to get offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah. More than likely, I think he's probably the overwhelming favorite at this point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mr. Handy, Commanders Lions, anything to add, sir?
Well, Nicholas, first of all, I want to thank you all for welcoming me to your wonderful sanctuary today to bring this message. I just come to bring this message. Now, we've heard everybody and what the pundits had to say about the Detroit Lions and how they seem to just keep coming. Every time you cut off an arm, they grow another one. It's almost like the Matrix movie where Neo was surrounded by hundreds of Agent Smith. But much like Neo fought off 100 Agent Smiths, I think that the Commanders can fight off the Lions. It was just like they sent a little shepherd boy out in the field to fight a 6-cubit giant. They said, we can't beat him. He took a rock and put it in a sling and swung it around his head and took out the man they knew as Goliath. It's like a man who had a stutter, raised as an Egyptian, ran out into the wilderness and was told, put off thy shoes, for the land on which thou stand is holy ground, and came back and brought all of the Egyptians, all of the Israelites out of Egypt to the point of parting the Red Sea. It's like Usain Bolt in his first major race, who lost and came in about 7th place. But as somebody I know who I'm pretty sure is watching right now, there's a saying that says the race is not always given to the swift nor the battle to the strong. It's like when a certain team, I can't remember where they are, that went into Indianapolis and they said, you can't beat Nick Saban. I wish I had my organist with me right now. They just beat you 2 weeks ago. Y'all ain't gonna beat him. And then a young man named Keely Ringo came down with that interception and took it all the way to the house. Point I'm trying to make is I think the Redskins have the possibility. Absolutely.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Because I do, and I'm gonna tell you why.
He thinks so much he went and called him the Redskins. So obviously, yeah, he really
did.
I did say that.
He went all the way back. He's like, no, I'm gonna show you this.
I do think I got all caught up in the moment.
The Wayback Machine.
That went way back.
I think the Commanders have the possibility to do it. Now I know that the Lions are the juggernaut, but let us not forget there was another juggernaut in the NFL who had only lost one game coming into the Super Bowl, and the team they faced had backdoored their way into the playoffs as a wild card. The odds for that team to win were completely, Vegas had pretty much written them off the books. And guess what happened? Not only did they beat them once, but they beat them twice. So if the Giants, who did not have, they had some talented guys on the team, but for whatever reason, the Giants defense that was on and off all season, all of a sudden rose up and smoked mighty Goliath. And then they turned around and they did it. It can happen. And I think if any team in the NFL that is left in the playoffs has the ability to do that, I think the Commanders have the ability to do that because of two words. Because of 2 words. 3 words. JD5. That boy has come in. Yes, they have a new coach and they have new ownership and there's a new atmosphere there. I lived there for 18 years. It was a horrible thing seeing Commanders fans pile into a bar every night and then just watch them lose miserably and change quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after coach.
Oh, like in Chicago?
I'm sorry. Wait,
yeah.
what?
How many years we've been doing
that? Right. I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you just say that with a straight face?
Right. Like we've been going through this.
I haven't experienced that around you guys firsthand, but I saw it. Like I saw it, and this was during the time when the Falcons were really good. So
we're still living it.
I was a hated guy. They're like, you and your Falcons. One day our team will rise up. Well, pardon the pun. But I think and it not only starts and ends with them changing the atmosphere in the front office and bringing in a coach with some new and innovative ideas. It also starts with the team general, and that young man has come in his rookie season and has established himself as a leader, and they are ready to go to battle for that young man. I'm sorry, Kate, I love you. I'm not saying that the Commanders will win, but I think the Commanders can win. For the purposes of this prediction, I'm going with the Commanders on this.
Okay, fair. I love Washington and what they've done this year. Honestly, like you look at, and again, how could you not be happy for Jaden Daniels and everything that's happened this year? As much as we had hoped that we'd have some similar success with Caleb, it didn't happen. And you're watching Jaden Daniels and you go, man, it's. And again, I know everybody makes the argument, what if the Bears had drafted Jaden Daniels? Well, he wouldn't be what he was this year because we didn't have the coaching to help that kid. So, right, that's a moot point. Or as Joey on Flint said, that's a moo point. It's a Kyle's point of view. Doesn't matter. It's moo. That's how I feel about that. But anyways, I'm taking the Lions as much as I would love to see the Commanders pull this. I think, Detroit just you look for the weaknesses because, I see them every year. You NFC North, the Bears always play them tough. And you go, the Lions can be beat. Dan Campbell's got those boys ready to play. I just don't see anybody taking them out. But again, we'll root for the Commanders, but I think Detroit takes this one. Let's get to our last game. Rams Eagles with this Sunday at 2:00. What? Why are you laughing at me, Andy?
I'm laughing because I just gave you my best sermon that I gave all season. I didn't even give a red and black sermon like that on the Georgia show. You said, we're gonna root for the Commanders, but the Lions win this one. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, again.
You gave us your answer for 10 minutes. Now we're on the Rams and Eagles.
Right. I'm just saying, again, short and sweet for me because, again, I could expound for 20 minutes, but I didn't think it's necessary. I think we all know, again, Commanders have a shot. I think the Lions take it. Rams Eagles, 2:00. This to me could end up being the game of the weekend. Just in terms, because again, I feel like the Rams, and I'm gonna go first on this one. I think the Rams can pull the upset here. And the more I think about it and the more I really do sit here with you guys, I'm going to take the Rams this weekend against the Eagles. I really have. After what I saw against the Packers, honestly, that kind of put the doubt in my mind that, oh, my goodness, what you should have put Green Bay away in that first half, and you didn't. And again, I know Green Bay tried to hang in there, whatever, but, yeah, I'm taking I just feel like if Stafford gets going with, Tina's favorite receiver – and Cooper Kupp and everything, and Kyron Williams running back there. I really feel like the Rams have a legit shot to take this game, and I'm going to pick the Rams in the upset. Delilah, we'll go next to you.
Same. I'm going to go with the Rams. Plus, I would like to see Goff and Maddie face off. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be kind of fun, right? To go to the Super Bowl? Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't it be great to see Goff and Stafford? That would be fun.
I think Rams could take this. The Eagles were exposed, in my opinion, and I think the Rams could take this. So, Rams.
Tina?
Triple. Agree. Nothing to add.
Nothing to add. Rams, okay. Reverend Handy.
Sermon over there.
Right. Reverend Handy, what do you got for us, boss? What do you think about the old Rams Eagles 2:00 on Sunday, sir? Which
by that time church your dog, right, Maddie?
Right, your dog, Matt Stafford. Go. Hey, by the way, did he go to Georgia? I'm just curious. Did he go to Georgia? Is he a dog?
I heard something along those lines. Yes.
Oh. Okay, very good, very good.
What's funny is, as much of a fan as I am of that team, he's the only dog in the NFL actively playing that I actually got to see play at San Stadium.
Yeah. Right, so you got to play see live, right? There you go. Wait, live. Because he that old, like you that old.
Oh,
he
you're
that
talking.
old.
You're talking. I think it was the year him and Megatron, because it was Georgia versus Georgia Tech.
Right, Georgia versus Georgia
Wow,
Tech.
that's
right.
a long time ago.
That
Yeah,
means you saw Roman Reigns play
we're
too.
talking like early not early 2000s, mid 2000s, 2006 or 7, something like that.
That's when Roman was there with Megatron, Joe Anoa'i on the defensive end. Roman Reigns played on that Georgia Tech team.
So,
there you go. Look at you. You saw a future wrestling star. Look at you.
Yeah, I did. Well, since I talked too long, I just will say the Rams.
Oh, no, it's okay. we love you, so we're going to point it out, right? We're going to give you crap for it. It's okay.
No,
like, we love you, pal.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Right, you going to go home?
or my fish sandwiches, rather.
Uh-oh. I thought you were going to eat during the show. We talk about fish sandwich. No.
And they still sitting right here, every now and again. I'm like your boy Don. Like your boy Don Cheadle and the ladies, man. Every now and again, I do like to go down and get myself a fish sandwich.
Oh wow, there it is.
I prefer meat in mine.
There you. Whoa, hey now, take it easy. All right, see, this is what happened. I love it. I know I do, but this. Do you see, folks? Do you see how just that? It doesn't take much.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay. I missed what she said.
Oh, I heard what she said. Believe me, I heard what Miss Tina said over there. Woo, doggy. Somebody, man, I tell you,
I would have gotten a reaction if you heard it.
No, he would have. I caught it, and that's
I just heard Nick say, "Hey now," and I was like, "What I miss?"
Yeah, you missed it, but it's okay.
You got your Georgia boy, or are we going with the
Eagles? Right? Did we actually get your prediction?
Yeah, I said Rams win.
Okay, you did say Rams win. So the four of us agree the Rams could pull the upset this week. I love it. I know you love it, and I do hope it happens.
Who did Jalen Hurts play for? Sorry,
Oklahoma. No, not Oklahoma. Alabama. Sorry, Alabama.
Oh, but he started, right?
Yeah, he was there with Tua and what's his face? Oh my God, who's the third guy? Mac Jones.
Oh,
no, the three of them were there at the same time though. At one point, there's a picture of the three of them.
Jalen left, right? Transfer portal or whatever.
Jalen was a starting quarterback. When he graduated, he took his graduate year and went to Oklahoma.
Where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
Which it definitely will be this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, the backup quarterback for the Rams, Hurts. Wait, what are you asking, Sean? I'm sorry. I wanted to read that again.
Yeah, you lost me there.
Will the backup quarterback for the Rams play? Who is the backup quarterback for the Rams? Was it Taylor Heineke? Who is it?
I think he's
Hurts played for both.
Okay. I forgot. You guys are like the college experts.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure I understood the question, Sean. Sorry, buddy. I love you. No, I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were asking.
Y'all are the exports.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's great. But now, again, I think we all would love to see the Rams win, and I think, like I said, the Eagles can be taken this weekend. I think they proved that with the way they played against the Packers. Well, guys, we thank you, as always, for all the comments, everybody who was watching today. Seriously, it's the first show back in the new year with all four of us, so we really appreciate you guys tuning in. It is playoff time, so that's what we'll be talking for the rest of the season, all the way through the Super Bowl. But again, as always, we end the show with one last thought always. So we're going to go to our final segment now. And our question this week for one last thought, I just thought it was a little thought-provoking. And, once in a while I get in my head and I'm like, what would be interesting to talk about? So this week our question is, what is the greatest piece of advice you've ever received? And I'm interested to see these answers. Handy, we'll start with you. What is the greatest piece of advice you've ever received?
Wow. I say this jokingly, however, he meant it. He meant every word of it when he said it to me. My father, the first time I got married, and at this point, my parents had been married for about 23, 24, 20. They were catching up on 25 years when I got married the first time.
Okay.
And, I was like, Dad, any advice you got for me?
Right.
And he looked around, which I now, in retrospect, understand that he was looking to see where Mom was and that she was out of earshot. And he leaned in and he said, the best two words you will ever say out of your mouth the entire time you are married are yes, dear. And you know what though? It works. Okay. It's like that episode of The Simpsons where the guy told Homer to tell Marge her hair looked really pretty.
Okay.
And she was starting it on him. He's like, Marge, your hair looks really pretty. She's like, her brain went into vapor lock, whatever it was she was chewing Homer about. Right. She totally forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know. My father dropped so many jewels on me when I was coming up. It's hard to remember any of them, but I remember that one specifically because I've been telling that one now for this spring will be 31 years since I got married the first time, and I will never forget that moment. It was just kind of like a father-son moment.
Sure.
That and make sure your kids are able to take care of themselves when they get out of the house. And
okay.
I have 4, and right now all 4 of them are out living on their own. One is done with college, another one is working full time and going to college, and so and one is a homeowner. So I mean, I can't ask for a whole lot. I don't want for my kids to have done anything spectacular for me to brag on them. I'm just glad I'm able to say my children are out of the house.
Right.
I started to say that like it's a bad thing. My children are out of the house and they're able to sustain themselves on their
own.
Absolutely.
And no, that's great, man.
That gives me a greater sense of accomplishment as a parent than any kind of my son's a CEO, but he's got a drug habit. My daughter is the VP of this bank over here, and she's on her 7th marriage with 2 kids by each marriage. My kids are out and they're able to look after themselves.
Right, I got you, man. No, it's great. I mean, congratulations on that too. Right. There you go. Right, self-sufficient. Exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Andy, for that. Appreciate that. Tina, how about you? Greatest piece of advice you ever received?
I don't know who said it or if I read it or I thought of it or something is know the difference between advice and an opinion. Because the faster you learn that, the faster you'll be able to find the fakes.
Very good. No, I like them. No, I mean, I've heard that too, but
wanting you to do well, they will give you advice.
Right.
The other part of it is you need to learn to listen to advice the younger you are.
Oh,
a lot of times it is good advice, but that
we don't take it because we're young and we know everything.
Advice and an opinion, because somebody's giving you their opinion, they're not necessarily wanting you to get the best things you can out of life. Right. Advice, they want you to do better. So.
I would, I think that's very true, actually. That's a good one. All right. Delilah, how about you? Best piece of advice you've ever received?
I have so many, but I'm just going to go with one of my mentors when I first started teaching in schools. And even though I'm not in a school anymore, but I feel like it matters. And what she said was, use that PTO, use that time off, use those sick days, use those personal days, because don't ever forget that you are replaceable at all these jobs, guys. Please, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Gen Xers and boomers, that's very hard for you. And I get it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Zennial, I'm in the middle, but I was raised with the same ideals. Work, kill yourself. No. You are replaceable at every job, every single thing that you do. Take that time off. And I know not everybody has the luxury of PTO.
Right.
But take that day off anyway. Please. Anybody can come in and get hired. I say that as someone who also has to hire people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go make sure you take time for yourself. Set time aside. Take that vacation, even if it's not a long one. I understand not everybody could afford to take long vacations. But take that weekend getaway. Take a week off. Take a day for yourself. Take a mental health day, even though, you can't take a mental health day, but you can take a personal day. They won't know. Take that time off. Call off work. Trust me. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Do not work yourself to death. I know it's very hard as Americans to think that way, but, honestly, they need you.
Yeah.
So take the time off because, trust me, they're not going to, take that time off, call in sick, whatever, man. Whatever you need to do to take care of your well-being, you, your family, your loved ones. Stay home with your kids, stay home with your cat, stay home with your dog. I don't care what it is.
Right.
And that person was right. So yes, take those days. Okay? Use them up. Don't save them because we know you ain't going on a 6-month holiday. So why are you hoarding them hours?
Right.
Take them days.
Don't hoard them.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing,
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, if nothing in American society is indicative of that, is the lady that had passed away at her desk and and was there. She was at her desk she was there for what 4 or 5 days before anybody noticed.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked for what did she work for? Chase Bank or something like that?
It was like
I didn't hear this one. This one.
Yeah, this happened about 2 or 3 months ago. She died. She died at her desk. And nobody bothered to do a welfare check or call and check on her.
That's what I'm saying.
She died at her desk.
Brutal. Yeah. I hate to hear that. That's terrible. Yeah.
But it's what I said.
Yeah.
That my mentor was right. Take them days. Use up them hours, please.
They're your days.
Yeah, they are. They're yours. I mean, exactly. I agree. No, believe me. Mine is actually, and it took me again because I've been a little stubborn in my life. It took me a while to really get this. I mean, to really get the meaning of this and what it really meant, and to see the really results was the biggest one. And it came, from a few different people. My father being one, and even my mom, and a couple teachers. You get out what you put into it, and I think that is something I've truly learned, especially in the last 2 years, kind of on this weight loss journey, because I finally put in the work to get it done. And what I'm getting out of it is probably one of the greatest things to have happened to me in the last, in a long while. And I think, it took me a while to really get that. Like, I had to make the decision myself, obviously, and I'm getting out what I put in, and I've put in the work, and the results have shown. And I think that's advice that, like I said, I've heard it multiple times, and I've heard it a lot throughout my life, and I never really got it. I guess you're like, okay, yeah, you put into it. Okay, yeah, I get it, whatever. But until you actually go through that and do that, then you go, hey, they were right the whole time. I should have done this sooner. But anyways, yeah, I think that's probably one of the greatest pieces I've got. Outside of don't put your chewing gum on your bedpost, but that kind of thing. So, but again,
because it loses its flavor overnight.
That's exactly. See, I knew Anthony was gonna. I knew Anthony. If anybody would pick up on that reference, that is actually a song. Does your chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? Yeah, one of those parodies, or like not parody, but funny song, novelty songs that came out years ago.
Oh me, oh my, oh you. Whatever shall I do?
There it is. Get it, Andy. Well, listen, thank you guys so much. Again, everybody who commented, everybody who was watching, we saw Nicole, Ben, Sean, Richard, a bunch of other people. Thank you so much for commenting and watching and chiming in with us. Thank you again to be back with you guys has been great. Again, I know it's been a while since all 4 of us were together. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for Handy, for Tina, for Delilah, for myself, Nick. Have a great week, everyone. And we hope to see you all next Tuesday when we talk more playoffs, divisional playoff results. So have a great week.
Right.
And everybody, exactly. Everybody have a great week. And on that note, thank you very much.
Still